Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can make a very own natural slingshot out of a tree fork. For this project you are not gonna need any expensive power tools or materials. Every part of the slingshot is made by hand, and the wood didn't cost me anything, because it was from a natural fork. It didn't look like this one, it was a lot bigger, but you get the idea. Once you find yourself a good fork, you will have to seal the end with wood glue and let it dry for about a year. Instead of sitting in a corner crying about how you have to wait a year, like I did, go to the forest, find yourself a good fork and let it dry for about a year. Then make a slingshot. Because even though you can't make a slingshot until about a year from now, the end results are really rewarding. And while you're at it, find yourself some more forks so you don't have to wait a year when you want to make a slingshot next time. Let's move that aside and start with the project. To start off this project you are gonna need a tree fork. And one I'm using here comes from a fir tree. It is a softwood, and while I'm gonna use it myself, I wouldn't recommend you using nothing but hardwood, because a weak slingshot won't allow for strong bands and have a higher chance of breaking. So the first thing I did was to make the front side flat. I then took a paper template and drawed it onto the wood. By using a coping saw I managed to cut out the slingshot out of the tree fork. The sides were far from perfect, so I had to use some wood rasp to even them out. When it comes to making the handle, you could just use the wood rasp and remove materials by hand, but that would take a lot of time, so instead I will use my coping saw. It costs around 8 euros to buy one, so it's a way cheaper option than using a bandsaw, but if you have a bandsaw that is also a great option. So the slingshot ended up having quite an odd shape, but it fits my hand very well and I really like it. It's now time to shape the slingshot, and shaping a slingshot isn't really that hard. It's only a matter of rounding the edges with the rasped metal files until it feels good to hold in your hand. Here's another reason for you to use hardwood instead of softwood. The wood I've got here easily gets scratches. That was all the shaping. Let's move on to filing and sanding. Here's a little trick I've learned when it comes to sanding. Instead of buying sandpaper, I like to use sanding belts. Here we got 3 grits, 80, 240 and 120. The belts are cut into square pieces that you use as normal sandpaper. So if you compare these two, you can see that the sandpaper is made out of actual paper. Sanding belts on the other hand are much stiffer and won't tear as easily as the sandpaper. When it comes to finish, I usually have 2 options, spray lacquer and linseed oil. For this particular project I'm gonna use spray lacquer, because I've never tried it on a slingshot before. I almost forgot to mention that you need to make grooves on each fork for the flat bands to hold on to. If you put an effort into sanding these, your bands will last a lot longer. The slingshot is now completely finished and I've banded it up with some single layer TheraBand gold. Unfortunately, I can't show you the shooting of the slingshot, because the weather has been bad for many days and I want this video to be uploaded today. It feels nice to have finished the slingshot, And in the process of making it I learned a lot of new things. Take this for example, you can actually make a good slingshot using soft wood. And spray lacquer does not only give the wood a glossy finish, but at the same time make it more durable. And no matter how hard you try, you will never be able to remove those marks left by the coping sauce. Well, that was all for today. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.